Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the attraction entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we're coming at you, episode 350.
Yeah.
This number snuck up on me.
Okay.
We're at a halfway point, halfway between episode 300 and episode 400.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
That is what 350 would be.
I got to admit, though, the milestones, now that we've hit so many of them, have become a little less impactful. It's kind of like birthdays. I might know a thing or two about that.
Maybe.
The more of those lines you cross, the less important they become. And also, the easier it is for them to sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Because I completely did not realize I had a birthday until like a week before. And it's not like Ellie and Crystal didn't tell me or mention. It just didn't sink in.
Yeah.
I was warned. I just didn't process.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, real fast, do take a moment. Reach out to us, contact us, follow us. We're at hauntweekly.com or hauntweekly on Twitter, hauntweekly on Facebook. YouTube.com/hauntweekly is the YouTube channel. A great way to get caught up on past episodes. And we're also wherever you get your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, etc., etc., etc. And do follow us. And if you follow us anywhere, follow us at Facebook, facebook.com/hauntweekly, because we will be doing some live recordings. We hope to do one next week. We're going to start work on finalizing that shortly. Mm-hmm. Times and dates of those recordings are going to start varying because we're going to be getting people not just in these United States.
Yes.
And so our usual time, our default time is Sunday at 8 p.m. That may not be happening in these next few interviews as we're trying to do more international. And 8 p.m. for us is fine, but if you're in Europe or in Australia or whatever, 8 p.m. on a Sunday kind of sucks.
Yeah.
8 p.m. for in Central Time sucks. So anyways, yeah, we're back, and it has been quite a week. And this week, we are kind of bringing things into focus a little bit. Last week, we talked about our pie in the sky, our dreams for the haunt industry, things we wanted to see the haunt industry achieve at some point.
Yes.
And these were admittedly both long-term and lofty goals aplenty.
Yes, and we knew that we did not put everything into that episode.
No, God, no.
Like, we have way more dreams for it than that.
In fact, there may be another episode along those lines coming, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we do have at least that many more we wanted. But these were ones we could talk about and get some specifics on.
Yeah.
Because, a dream is great, but if you don't have a specific attainable goal for that dream, and a point you want to be at, it's kind of useless. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to focus on that. But for our question of the week last week, we asked all of you, what were your dreams for the haunt industry? And we got a lot of great answers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, first off, Chris Gay said growth in the prosumer segment. Completely agree.
He was discussing specifically like masks and props and scents and things like that. And yeah. Right now in the haunt industry, I think he's got an excellent point. There seems to be this big gap between Spirit Halloween, Target, and Home Depot.
Yeah.
The Home Depot's kind of been inching more that direction.
It is, but it'd be nice to have, some others that are just, not retail stores.
Yeah. I mean, we may be buying me a new Burning mask.
Yes.
Soon. And maybe buying a very high-end one for that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't have a pro haunt budget. Mm-mm. We have a slightly bigger budget this year than we had in previous years just because we're doing better financially. We have more disposable income.
Right.
But our budget still doesn't have enough zeros in it to even come near a big pro haunt.
No.
We may be doubling our budget when we would have to 10 or 100 times it.
Yeah.
To even be in the same space. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a lot of props and a lot of neat things that are just completely out of our reach financially. And if we get the cheap Spirit version, it ain't going to make it 3 fucking nights.
No.
And I agree with him. There's a need for something in that gap. And I don't know if prosumer is the term I would use, just because I think this also covers Honestly, just anyone that wants better in spirit. This is a whole wide range that goes beyond what I just think of as prosumer. Because I think prosumer, I think of like, Ryobi tools. I think of things that fill a very specific niche between the professional and the avid user. That's prosumer is. And I think there are people who are less avid users that are still underserved.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's a bigger gulf there, but I get what he's saying. Twisted Wing Productions said that we work together instead of acting like children. Yeah, that would be nice. I'll say this, though. As someone that has been in the haunt community online for 20 years or so, shit has gotten a lot better. If you think it's bad today, you should have seen it when we first got online.
Yeah.
And, you had, like, the Garage of Evil was kind of where this started. The cooperation started. It was a forum online. It's no longer. It ain't there no more. They closed down, and for a very valid reason, which is that Facebook groups have taken over what they had done, what they were doing.
Right.
They were kind of superfluous, and not a bad reason. But yeah, they kind of broke ground with that, and hopefully, we can see other haunts get on board.
Yeah. Okay. Sam Farrell said more creative seasonal openings.
Yeah. He was very happy that things are doing like the St. Patrick's Day, the Christmas haunts and all that.
Right.
But wants to see more opportunities for creatives in those seasonal openings. And that makes sense.
It does.
Jerry Ferraccio said, more room for those not into gore. And there was a reply to it, and I should have jotted it in the notes, but I didn't. I can't remember who said it. But they were talking about how there is actually a lot of room for people who aren't into gore. And I see both sides of that.
Right.
There definitely is room, but I also completely understand why you might not see or feel that.
Yeah, like I wouldn't consider our haunt overly gory.
No, not these days especially.
No, I mean we've had some gore in the past, but
yeah, we've had some gore in the past, and we don't shy away from gore.
So what I think maybe getting at is more targeted towards younger kids and young adults.
Yeah, and this falls into the always present trap of anytime you say family blank.
Right.
Do you mean it's actually meant to be fun for kids and adults, or do you mean it's just for kids and the adults can tag along if they feel like they have to, right?
Yeah.
You kind of fall into that trap. But I do agree with what he's saying here. There needs to be space for this. And I've been a firm believer in if you need gore to be scary, then you're not being scary. The gore adds a little flavor. If anything, it adds a little bit, on top. It does not constitute the scare itself.
Right.
Not in my opinion, it doesn't. Not usually. I can only think of one time that gore was kind of the scare. And it was effective, and that was the 13th Gate, the room with the claustrophobia tunnel that was half height.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And only the first year, or the first couple of years they used it.
Yeah, and that was because...
where they set you up. They set up the expectation.
Yeah, and that's just it. I don't think that had much to do with the gore, as much as it did they fucked with the expectation so beautifully, and apparently unintentionally. But
yeah, no.
But it was... But hey, an accidental scare is still a scare, so don't fucking criticize too much.
I'm not.
I'm not, I mean, those people. But yeah, it's interesting, and I think that's a good idea. And I think a lot of this stems from the way haunts feel the need to advertise themselves as the goriest, the scariest, the darkest, the whatever. And
the most fun you'll have while screaming your head off in terror.
Yeah, and I think we need to get away from some of that and understand that people are coming here to have fun through fear.
Exactly.
They're not... And if you don't deliver on the fun, if they don't leave with a smile on their face, they ain't coming back.
No.
I mean, trust me, they ain't coming. It doesn't matter if you're a home haunt, pro haunt, anything in between. They ain't coming back. It's that simple. Okay, next one.
Okay, and Kevin Hopkins said more local roundtables for haunt owners to share best practices and build relationships.
Yeah, I know the local haunt owners in our community all have a shared text chain.
Yeah.
Or a shared messenger. I don't know if it's text or message. I don't know how it is. But I know they have a group.
We know it exists and we're not invited, and that's okay.
And they talk about us.
Yes, that's how we know it exists.
And then, you know what? That's fine. That's exactly how it should be. There's not a criticism of that. Exactly how it should be. But yeah, I think this is a good idea. And I think technology really does help with this. But I also do believe that sometimes getting face-to-face fucking helps.
Yeah.
I mean, I am super in favor of work from home. I am super in favor of virtual. But even I will admit that there are sometimes being face-to-face makes a huge difference.
Well, and even if there were, like, locally based virtual roundtables, because those don't exist either.
Yeah, you can do it by Zoom.
Yeah, like virtual, a virtual New Orleans get together or that would Gulf Coast get together.
And that would be great because, like, even just in the Southeast Louisiana region, if we can just limit ourselves to what's right near us, that encompasses New Orleans, North Shore, Baton Rouge, and probably out to Biloxi, Mississippi, I think. Between Biloxi and Baton Rouge, you're looking at about a 3-hour drive to get across that. I think it's 3 to 4 hour drive between those two cities. That's a long drive, and that's hard to get together and do a meeting for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Zoom to prevent people from having to drive could be huge.
Yeah.
And finally, we got an email, and I'm not saying the person's name.
Yeah.
They asked to remain anonymous, and so I'm not going to say their name, and I'm not giving any details, because they gave a lot of details and some food for thought that we've been pondering on our own time.
Yeah.
But basically, they said better security for haunts.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been talking. I mean, just go back to our news episodes. just go right the fuck back to our news episodes. Yeah. Ever since the pandemic, shit has been crazy.
Yeah, people forgot how to be in society.
And they forgot how to be in an intense emotional situation in society.
Yeah.
And like we've talked on the show repeatedly about shootings, fights, stabbings. We talked briefly about what's going on at Knott's Berry Farm, where they're limiting chaperone. These are all things we've talked about openly and publicly. And the thing that I think we made the point at the time when all this started in 2020, that we have like 5 years of history of covering haunted attraction news.
Yeah.
We didn't cover a single haunted attraction shooting until 2020.
Exactly. And then that year, I think we had 3.
We had a ton. It seemed like we were getting a couple every news episode, starting in September and going through into November.
Yeah. And that's just insane.
Yeah. We went from haunts are the place you're least likely to be shot or physically hurt at to seemingly one of the most dangerous.
Yeah. And that's a skewed perspective.
It is.
Too.
No, it's a very skewed perspective. I admit that. But here's the thing. Perception fucking matters. If any industry understands that, it should be this one.
Yeah.
Because we're all about perception here.
We are.
That's kind of our whole bag, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, this person gave us a lot to chew on. We've been going over it, some on our own, and some of the security issues are going to come up as this episode goes on. But yeah, all in all, these were some great dreams. I would like to see pretty much all of these.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one in here I'm like, no, God, no.
No.
I don't think there's one I'm like running from. How's that? I do worry with the security. We have to be careful, both as an industry and as just practicality, to be careful not to engage in security theater.
Right.
Because it was on Reddit, the subreddit, Mildly Infuriating. Someone posted a photo saying, first day at school. A lot of schools are starting back up now. This was the line for the students to get through bag search / metal detector.
Yeah.
And the line went on for fucking ever, man. It looked like they were handing out concert tickets and blowjobs or something. It was a huge line. And the first comment on it was, well, I know where I'm shooting up that school at.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be in the school. You just get them when they're in line in that cattle gate system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a bid to make school more secure, they A, inconvenienced the fuck out of everyone, and B, created the perfect opportunity to create a mass casualty incident.
Yes.
It's just nuts. So we got to think about that. Should we also have to avoid making sure we have to make sure our security policies aren't racist, sexist, whatever. Discriminatory anyway to any group. And you have to be careful about that because I've seen, and a good example here is, I have seen, not necessarily haunts so much as nightclubs, this is more common, but policies like no baggy jeans and no t-shirts of a certain style.
Yeah.
Knowing that these styles were almost explicitly and solely African American.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. It's bad.
Yes.
So
but try to figure out those unintended consequences of forming lines at metal detectors whenever you're thinking about your security.
And here's the thing: security has no easy answers.
Nope.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, with a haunt or any event of its size or type, what you have is a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And a crowd of people is a security nightmare waiting to happen at almost any given moment.
Yep. They are unpredictable.
And that doesn't matter if it's a haunt, a concert, wherever. It doesn't matter. A crowd of people is a potential problem. All right. Normally, we would do conference reminders here. We're kind of in the dead. Oh, sorry, what?
You haven't given this week's
yes,
question
right. We have
of the
this week's question of the week.
Yes.
You're right. I totally forgot. Thank you. Good catch. So, this week's question of the week: what is your main goal for the 2022 haunt season? What are you hoping to improve, to achieve, whatever? We're going to go into ours in just a minute.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of stuff we want to talk about there. But what are yours? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. Let us know. We'll also post this on our Facebook page on Wednesday. Comment there. We get emails. We read everything. We appreciate feedback no matter what format we get it in.
Yes.
Greatly appreciated. So now I can talk about the conference reminders.
Yes.
I wouldn't normally do them, but this is kind of the dry season. Haunted attraction, or specifically haunt conventions, are kind of in hiatus until after season. They'll pick back up in November.
Right, because, people got to build shit.
Yeah, we're in that time of year where there's just not as many. But also, I have not set up the new thing. That's on me, but I've been very busy at my day job. This is an avocation. It's something I do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Been very busy at my day job, and it was my birthday weekend.
Yes.
And so we have been celebrating as nature intended by watching silly music videos, drinking too much, and enjoying some time off. So I have not done it. I'm hoping to have time shortly in which I can do this. And for episode 252, I'm hoping to have it back. But we do want to do conference reminders. It's just not available this week because I want to re-verify absolutely everything and get it into a format where it can be separate from our regular show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just refer to it in that space. And that way, if we want to put it on our site whenever we move to our permanent site home,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think we're at our forever site home right now.
No.
Whenever we do that, we can have a proper calendar of conference reminders. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to require work. It's going to take time, a whole lot of patience and time, and it's going to take a whole lot of spending money in. We were definitely doing music videos last night.
Yes.
So stay tuned. Hopefully 252. I won't make any promises because that's how everyone's disappointed. But that's my goal right now. Okay,
Right.
so last week we talked about our haunt industry dreams.
Mm-hmm.
The big picture stuff.
Yes.
But this episode, we want to take kind of the same idea, but get focused. We want to talk about what 2022 means to us. In 2022, for you and I think may be the biggest haunt season we've ever had, most important haunt season we've ever had, other than maybe 2005.
Yeah. Because, we've been out of it since 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were
2018 was the last year we were open. 2019, road closures. 2020, everybody knows.
2020, 2021, you know what was
Yeah. Yeah, there was shit going on.
Yeah, and 2019 was, of course, super frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't have been closed that year, realistically.
No.
That was the city's fault. 2020, that was COVID. That was... I felt it was my duty to be closed that year, especially.
Yeah.
And 2021, I don't know. I still debate that because during haunt season, things were looking worse again for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But we started making plans to open for 2021 in summer, and then things got bad again.
Yeah, the city shut down again.
Yeah, the city shut down again, and that was one of the problems we had in 2021 is even if we felt comfortable open, which I don't think we did.
No.
But even if we did, the city regulations would have made it damn near impossible for us.
Yeah, well...
If not actually impossible.
Right. And so there's a lot of nervousness going into this new season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how people are going to react. We're going to get more into that in a minute. About our hopes for that.
Yeah, so we haven't operated a haunt
right
since 2018, and we haven't really been to a haunt since 2019. Now, there are exceptions. We did visit Rise and had that lengthy walkthrough, and we did go to the haunts in Myrtle Beach, and we did visit the one at Ha.
Yes.
But none of those were the stereotypical, it's haunt season, we're going into a haunted house because it's haunt season.
No.
Experiences. None of those were that. This will be our return to regular haunt visits.
Yeah, and we haven't seen our home base haunts, like the ones in our area, for 3 years, other than the behind the scenes walkthrough at Rise.
We did the behind the scenes walkthrough at Rise.
Yeah.
We've not set foot in 13th Gate. We've not set foot in New Orleans Nightmare. We've not set foot Mortuary. We have not set foot in any of them. Any of them. And so this is going to be a big deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what our hopes of the 2022 haunt season. We got 5 hopes for our haunt.
Yes.
And 5 hopes for when we go visit haunts.
Yes.
And we're going to start with our haunt. But yeah, I think that's a good way to break this up and make this discussion much easier. All right, the first one.
All right, safety and security. We were just talking about this,
and we're going to be talking about this a lot this episode.
Yeah, this is something we always hope for, and normally we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't normally say this part out loud because it should be assumed.
Yeah.
We're very big on safety. We're very good at it. We've had no injuries at our haunt ever.
Right. And if you go back and you listen way back, we've been talking about safety from the beginning.
Yeah. Got 350 episodes, and I'm sure it's come up in at least 10 to 20% of them.
Yes. Yes. I think at one point we were even saying, first and foremost, remember your safety rules.
But you have to be that kind of diligent.
Exactly. But the security issues that we've seen at other haunts in the past 2 years have us a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because we aren't big. We don't have a large out in front staff.
No.
We don't have security other than cameras and a couple of, strong people, including myself, to stop guests from acting unruly.
On Halloween night, between our quote-unquote kids area and the front of house actors we have for the haunt, I think we have about 6 people.
Yeah.
And on Halloween 2018, we had over 1,000 people on Halloween night alone.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
And not a lot of people to watch and guard them. And like some people like me, I don't get to be in amongst the crowd much because my job is to let people into the haunt. I'm working literally at the front door. Yeah.
Well, and in 2018, we only had 1 line worker. We were supposed to have 2, but we wound up only having 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't cancel on haunts without letting them know ahead of time. That's annoying.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yes, that's really annoying.
Yeah, we're still a little miffed about that, to be honest, after all these years.
But, so yeah, we have 1 person, and they have to watch what's going on in the cattle gate and out into the road.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're and then that's just an issue that we have. We've looked at the possibility of hiring security.
Yeah.
And
we've talked to a local constable who's
offered
to help.
But that may be getting more complicated for other reasons now. And one of the things is there is a great deal of mistrust of the police in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And that's amongst all communities, but especially among the poorer communities. And that makes up the lion's share of who comes to our free haunt.
Yeah.
And so I have tried to avoid having a uniform presence there for specifically that reason.
Yeah.
If it's necessary, we'll do it, but I'm trying to avoid it just because I want to make sure everyone's comfortable, everyone feels safe, everyone feels welcoming. And that's one of the things. You have to consider that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other issue is, like, we've heard about all the security issues at haunts all over the country. I mean, just go back. The news episodes are still there.
Yeah.
I mean, if fucking Erebus in Detroit has a fucking shooting in their line, what the fuck hope do we have?
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck can we do? But it's not just that haunts have had this increased uptick, But New Orleans has its own very specific problems. Like a lot of major cities, we have been seeing an uptick of crime.
Mm-hmm.
And normally that issue has not touched our neighborhood.
Right.
Like our block, our area is incredibly safe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the worst you realistically have to worry about is petty crime of people stealing things out of the yard or unlocked areas.
Right.
And Ellie and I used to go to police meetings every Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
and take notes and understand what crimes are actually going on. And that's what we learned is like if you lock your shit,
Yeah.
you and don't let people who have no reason to be there, you're probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we've been seeing an uptick in violent crime and bringing a crowd of people not from our area into the neighborhood could open up interactions between people that maybe have a beef with one another. Maybe they have issues outside of them.
Yeah. And we've never seen anything like that
No.
at our place.
And the
To
only,
be, to be completely clear, we've never had any issues because most people are coming here because it's a fun thing to do with their friends and their families, and it's not that kind of atmosphere.
Exactly.
But that's what we thought about a lot of other haunts too over the past couple of years. So we're nervous, but we're also excited to see some old faces that are coming back. I handed out candy last year for the first year in forever. Since 2005, I think.
Yeah.
And saw, parents bringing their kids, and they had come through when they were kids, and it's like,
quit making me feel old, you asshole.
That's A. But B, it was really heartwarming, and so I don't expect to have issues, but it's in the back of my mind to plan for them in case it happens.
Yeah. I am honestly not anticipating a problem personally, but yeah, there's a chill in the air thanks to A, what's been going on at other haunts, and B, what's been going on in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You combine those two things, the worry level is higher this year.
Yeah.
The next item, and this one seems much more simple, but in many ways it's not.
Nope.
Is we are hoping that we are able to get at least the vast majority of our actors back.
Yeah.
We've been closed 3 years. Now, luckily for us, our actors are our friends, mostly. These are people we're close to, and we've been in contact with pretty much all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we've already got a couple of new people that look like they're going to come
Right.
and help out. We've got the old people. Most of them are in contact with. But we've been closed 3 years.
Yeah. And, in that time, one of them is starting college. Actually, two of them are starting back to college.
Mm-hmm.
One for the first time, one to finish up degree. Another is in their second degree at college and has started doing a lot of shoots for movies and things. So, I mean...
Yeah, people's lives move forward.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It's not that they don't want to. I think everybody wants to, which is a very high honor.
It is.
I'm very happy that nobody has said they don't want to.
Correct.
But everybody's life, as you just said, has moved forward. They've moved into new things. They're going back to school. They've started new jobs.
Exactly.
They've got families in some case. You know what I mean? They got new families. So we're hoping we're able to keep recruitment to a minimum in terms of getting what's necessary. But yeah, a lot has changed in 3 years, and I am more than a little bit anxious, like you, about being able to get a large enough crew. We're starting work on it functionally right now, but we've been working on it sort of in the background for quite a while. So yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
The third one.
The people show up. Like, I don't know if people are going to remember that we're here. And I don't want to see record-breaking numbers. I don't want to even see the numbers from 2018.
No.
Like, honestly, because that just drove everybody to misery by the end of the night.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're such a small crew that whenever you put 1,000 people through, which is our theoretical maximum limit per hour, that there were no breaks. That it was just exhausting by the end of it.
If I got to pick
Mm-hmm.
My absolute perfect number of people for the haunt. I got to set when they come and how I get to control everything basically.
Yeah.
I would want 700 people each night.
Yeah.
That is an amount where we have some overhead.
Mm-hmm.
We can address issues. We can fix problems, and if we don't have to hurry people through, we don't have to make changes to group size.
Right.
That's a very comfortable amount for us to get through in the 3 or 4 hours we're open.
Yeah.
And if we could do that each night, it'd be a steady pace.
Mm-hmm.
Be very steady, but it would never be overwhelming.
Right.
Instead, what we had last year was we had like 50 people the first night, 100 people to 150 people the second night, and 1,000 the third.
Yeah.
And that third night nearly killed us because it's our theoretical maximum. But there's a reason you just said it was a theoretical maximum.
Yeah. Well, and, part of this also is with our recent health issues, mine and yours, separately. We're not positive we're going to be able to do.
That was hard.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah. So that's another worry that's in the back of my mind.
I am hoping that my GI issues are actually solved. I think we might have finally gotten to the core of the problem there.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling better than I have in a long, long time on that front.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to realize, you go back to 2018, that was Jonathan who ran several 5Ks per week.
Yeah.
And you were much more active too in general. You were exercising and walking and doing things. We both were much more physically active.
Yeah.
I had started having GI issues that prevented me from running. I haven't been on a run in over 3 years now.
Yeah, which means
Almost
I
4.
haven't either because we would go together at night.
Maybe we'll do a walk tonight.
Maybe. But that's, that's another thing that's out there. Like, we don't know if we're physically going to be able to put 1,000 people through if they show up.
Yeah,
So we're hoping that people show up and remember us, but we don't know. We don't want all of them to show up.
Yeah, and just to refresh the court's memory, last year, I think it was last year, it was 2021, Halloween night I threw my back out.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I was bedridden for about 4 days.
Yeah, I don't know if we put that out or not to the...
Yeah, I threw my back out on Halloween about an hour before we weren't doing anything and giving candy. The haunt wasn't open. But I was going to go in full Bernie costume and help you give candy and do a little performance, and had some magic shit I'd lined up to do to entertain the little kiddies that drove up or walked up. We had shit to do, and then literally I went to get something out of the shed, I think prizes or something, bent over, and my back just noped.
Yep.
So it was bad. So I ended up laid up, and you took care of everything that year. We haven't tested my back thoroughly. It feels good right now.
Yeah, we may have to put you in a back brace.
Well, luckily I have one now of sorts. But yeah, so we're hoping people show up. We're hoping to get overwhelmed though. Next up, that cleanup and the build goes, well, we've had this haunt technically finished since January 2019.
Yeah.
We have one more build we have to do, but it's technically an optional build. I mean,
it's more for the safety of the customers.
And it's more for, it's a little bit of safety, a little bit of aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's not a huge bump in safety. It's not like we're taking something dangerous, actively dangerous. But we're fixing something that could potentially be dangerous if customers do something very stupid, which is something you have to do, realistically.
Yeah.
But it's also an aesthetic thing, too. So it's a little bit of each in that camp. But one build, not even a major build, probably at most a one-day build, realistically.
Yeah.
Half-day build, even possibly. But we do have a ton of clean out to do, and it would be nice if like wood prices didn't totally bankrupt us.
It would be nice. I'm not expecting that, but it'd be nice.
And luckily, like I said, we're financially, that's one of the things that has changed. We are financially better than we were in 2018. So I'm not going to lose sleep over lumber prices, but it'd be nice if I didn't feel like I got robbed as I left the Home Depot or the Lowe's.
Yes, exactly.
And finally, I personally, well, this one is one I put in, so I'm taking him, though technically it was her turn. That we set the table for 2023. Here's something that a lot of people don't think about. I am so sick of the haunt that's in there right now.
Me too.
It's been ready for 3 fucking years now. And every time we go there, it's the same fucking haunt. I'm sick of it. I feel like we've had run the same haunt forever, but we've never actually ran it.
Yes. And I want to build something new.
I want to see something different. I like this haunt. I think it's very good. I think it's going to be very effective.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be the most effective one we've ever had.
Okay.
I personally think it will. I think it actually pulls together a lot of shit we've learned,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of our best builds are still there, and a lot of our worst builds are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think this has the potential to be the best and most effective year ever. But for us, it has been there for pretty much 4 fucking years because we started building it in summer of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so from my perspective, that shit needs to change.
Exactly.
I want it gone. But before I can get it gone, I actually have to run it as a haunted house.
And of course, the one time that I use pink in the freaking haunt is the time that it gets stayed in there for all these years.
Oh god, yeah. We built that one. We painted that one room pink or salmon pink. It's not even like pink.
No, it's a horrible color that shouldn't be anywhere.
And it was designed to be a horrible color because of the nature of the room.
Yeah, it was an oops paint. It's a hotel scene.
And we wanted it to be like an older hotel looking.
Yeah.
Like a rundown type hotel. And so we were picturing like a hotel that maybe was built in the 70s or 80s, but ain't seen shit done to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't been renovated.
Yeah.
That was the idea. So yeah, and of course, like you said, we put pink on our walls once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up for 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Because the first off, it's there and we don't like it, but it'll be gone. You know. I'm sorry, we started building in the summer 2019. Sorry, I've got the years wrong.
Well, we started really building takedown and stuff in December of 2018.
That's true.
So you had the right year, just the wrong time frame.
Yeah, but basically, either way, 3 to 4 years, that shit has been in there. I'm tired of it. I'm bored with it. And this is the first time we've ever opened a haunt that I'm already bored with.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a weird fucking feeling.
Yeah.
Because usually this should be the one, oh, I'm so excited. We got so much new stuff. I can't wait to show it off. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm like, dude, I see that shit every time I go do laundry. I'm bored with it. I want something else.
Exactly.
All right. This brings us, though, to our hopes for visiting other haunts, which will be our first time doing that since 2019.
Yeah.
Crystal.
All right. So we really are looking forward to seeing what they've been doing.
What have you been doing these past 3 years? Please illuminate us.
Exactly. Because we know that they've been open. We know that they've made changes. We don't know what they are. And we don't really have a vivid memory of the last time we were there because haunt visits, we do so many, they all run together.
Well, and that memories fade after just 1 year.
Exactly.
Like there have been plenty of times we went through haunt whatever, and one of us looks at the other and goes, yeah, that room was new, and the other one says, no, that was there last year.
Yeah.
And we typically go back and forth, each of us remembering things or thinking things were new that the other person remembers being there last year, because that's how memory is. I mean, if a customer goes through your haunt and a year later remembers 3 rooms, that's a pretty good haunt.
Yeah.
So yeah, but now we've got 3 years away from these haunts, so I can't remember shit.
No.
Everything's gonna feel very shiny and new, even if it's not. So I'm really looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to seeing what is actually new, what they've been working on.
Yeah.
And to that end, we're also looking forward to reconnecting with people. We had the tour of Rise. We got to talk to those people there and had a great time. But we've not talked realistically much with the people at other haunts in the area.
No.
Because they're like the family you see only at the Christmas party every year, the family Christmas get together. Yeah, they're like the New Orleans family we only see at Halloween.
Exactly.
And we haven't seen them because we haven't been doing haunts. So we got the people at New Orleans Nightmare. We got people at 13th Gate. We got people at Mortuary that we ain't seen in 3 years now that we're looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool. I'm excited to talk about what they've been doing, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping the reconnects go well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we hadn't said anything in the past 3 years to piss them off.
I don't think so.
But hey, you never know.
Yeah. And I mean, it's... Yeah, anyway.
Moving on. Take the next one.
So, we're also looking forward to a haunt field trip. We don't know yet where we're going to go. But we haven't had one in 3 years.
Yeah, 2018, the trip to Houston was the last one. No, 2019 trip. No. Where did we go in 2019?
We stayed local because we wanted, I think we stayed local.
I thought we actually did go somewhere.
Did we?
Was it? I can't. It was not the Lost Souls. Lost Souls 2018.
I don't know. I don't know where we went. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
So.
I'd have to go back and check my notes.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I know it was not Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We don't know where. Ohio is promising.
That's got such a great density of haunts.
Yeah.
That even if we aren't able to reconnect with people in that area and get, some guidance on where to go, I'm confident we can string together a great haunt field trip in that area. North Florida, I think might be interesting. Gainesville, Jacksonville, on that corridor, because we've done Pensacola. We've done haunts in Pensacola before.
Right.
Because it's along that I-10 corridor toward Jacksonville, I think there's a lot more we could do there.
Yeah.
Nashville is promising and is nearby. Memphis is also super easy for us to get to. It's a 5-hour drive. And I have done other things in Memphis, but not haunts.
Yeah.
And Dallas, I think, could be interesting.
Yeah, the Dallas area seems to have a lot of haunts that we've heard about and would like to go to. And unfortunately, we're never able to make it to the Texas Haunters Convention.
Yeah. Not because of allergies. It's because of allergies, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the convention.
No,
Crystal has one of the rarest allergies in the world. It ain't anybody's fault.
Yeah. No, last time I was at that hotel, I wound up in hives and unable to breathe.
And we were debating an emergency room trip.
Yeah, instead of catching our flight.
Yeah, we literally were. Do we drive to the airport or to the emergency room?
Yeah.
And what we did is we went to the airport and got her a damn near lethal dose of antihistamine.
Apparently not.
But apparently not a lethal dose now that Ellie is on...
like 6 a day.
Jesus amounts of antihistamine.
Yeah.
She's like 90% antihistamine at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, Dallas, though, I think has a lot of promise to it. We have been to one attraction in Dallas as part of the time we did go. We saw one, but yeah, there's a lot I want to do in Dallas, too.
Yeah.
And Dallas is a tough one because it's about a 9-hour drive. Which makes it the type of drive you really debate whether you fly there or not, especially since there's tons of New Orleans to Dallas flights.
Yeah.
And you can get there cheap and quickly.
Yeah. Well, and if I were able to take off a full week in October, what we would do is we would go on, leave on a Thursday, hit up haunts in northern Louisiana on Friday, and then get to Dallas for the Saturday.
Yeah, we have done Shreveport.
Yeah.
We've done Shreveport fairly thoroughly because there was that one year, that was our haunt field trip because your mom had back surgery. So we just took the opportunity because she was going to be unconscious for extended periods of time in
Exactly.
this. So we got to be there to support her, but she's going to be unconscious a lot. Let's go do, go do all the
after
Shreveport.
She was stable and out of the woods, we took off.
Yeah, and luckily her surgery was like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So by Thursday evening, we knew the sitch and made a judgment call that we felt comfortable going to haunts.
Exactly.
All right, the next one, study haunt safety. I think this one's going to be interesting because, like I said, we haven't been to haunts in mainstream haunt season for 3 years. So what are haunts doing for safety and crowd control? What are they doing both to prevent violence and illness? We want to see the ways haunts are protecting themselves, and hopefully it's not just fucking security theater.
Yeah.
Because if I get to your haunt, here's a promise. If I get to your haunt, I don't care who it is. If I get to your haunt and there's this huge line at the metal detector, I'm going to take a photo of it and, basically make the point, hey, if somebody wanted to do something really bad to your people, that's where they could do it.
Yeah. So I know at least 2 of the haunts that we go to have metal detectors.
And the thing is, if you have metal detectors, you have to basically commit yourself to never running a line at them.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happens. Yeah.
Because that's the problem. The minute there's more than a dozen people in line for the metal detector, that is now the weak point.
Yeah.
And Now your metal detector has created the dangerous situation.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can get past that. I hope we can see some real solutions. Do I know what those are? Not necessarily.
Mm-mm.
That's one of the reasons I want to study it.
Yeah.
I want to see haunts that do this well and do this poorly, and I want to contrast and compare what's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But our final wish as we go to visit haunts, our hope for this year, is that we see innovative experiences around the haunt. These two tie together very well, obviously. But, okay, I bitched and moaned a lot about the Houston trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I will continue to bitch and moan a lot about the Houston trip, because I will be honest, the haunted attractions we went to in Houston were a disappointment.
Yes.
Almost across the board.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some great stuff outside the Houston area.
Right.
But inside Houston, it was expensive. The haunts themselves weren't that great.
Mm-hmm.
And it was frustrating. But one thing that Houston did really goddamn well was the stuff around the haunt.
Yeah.
Every haunt, almost without fail, had something going on to help keep people there, give them a reason to hang out, and give them a reason to continue spending money.
Yeah. Some kind of midway type thing.
It could have been in a lot of cases it was a midway type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Other cases they were going for more of a hangout vibe where they were doing campfires and concerts, and there were various movies and various activities you could cycle through, and gift shops, including local crafters that were setting up like in a flea market style environment.
Yeah.
There were a lot of very innovative things going on around the haunts, and that's really more than what's going on in the haunt. This is what I want to focus on this year when it comes to studying and understanding what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see more innovative queue line innovations.
I hope so, because there's no way. Okay, so it's obvious that some people wouldn't have changed or couldn't have changed the way that they did a line, even in COVID, with needing to social distance.
Yeah.
I'm positive that some of that just didn't change.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it would be really nice to see something other than just get in line and stand here.
And let's set aside, COVID. Let's set aside all that stuff, and safety and security in general, because getting hundreds of people bunched up into a cattle gate system is once again inviting disaster.
Yeah.
Like when I will never forget how smart Camp Blood handled this in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking genius.
Yeah.
You come in, you're in this big, huge field area. And you're given a card with a letter on it, and I'm guessing there's 26 of these cards.
Yeah.
And so you go, you mill about, you visit the shops, you check out people, you get some snacks at the booth, and you mill around, you hang out. They had a photo op area. You do all these things, and then on the loudspeaker, Group A to the gate, type thing. Group A, come to the gate. And then you go with 20 other people, your group and others. And you're pretty much never actually in line. You spend almost no time in the queue. At least we didn't. Granted, we were there at the end of a seemingly very quiet night. But that is brilliant. Because now people aren't bunched up. They're not miserable. They're entertained. Yes, they had actors milling about in this area, so there were queue line actors, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But those actors did not have the sole responsibility of keeping the people standing around happy.
No, they worked more like a scare zone actor than a queue line
exactly.
actor.
And that's just it. Even the best queue line actor can only entertain so long.
Yeah.
And if your queue is running, I'd say more than 30 minutes especially, if it's getting into that hour and 90 minutes, really especially, they might be the best queue line actors ever. They could be fucking ninjas. They could be ninja sliders, the best interactive haunters you've ever had in your life. They could be fucking, the saints of the haunt industry. They can't keep people entertained and happy for 90 fucking minutes.
No.
So have people mill about and go to various shops. Have people do photo ops and things like that. Have people, give people that freedom to mill around and take some control over their entertainment. It works wonders, and I really loved seeing those innovative systems. And there were some also in Houston too. This was something that they seem to be addressing. Because if my experience going to your haunt, if the 2 hours I'm on your property, I spend 90 of those minutes standing between guardrails. That's a huge hole to dig the haunt has to dig its way out of.
Yeah, we're not going to go in happy.
We're not going in happy, and we're probably not leaving happy.
Mm-hmm.
But if 90 minutes of that time is us milling around and going to shops and interacting and doing other things, then there's a good chance we will be going in happy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are our hopes for the 2022 haunt season. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Basically, we just want a normal one.
Yeah. Exactly. We want a normal haunt season, a quote-unquote, and big fucking air quotes.
Yeah.
Normal, because what is a normal haunt season, really? Even I haven't figured that one out.
Yeah.
But we want as close to a normal haunt season as physically, humanly possible, both for our haunt and the haunts we visit. That's it.
Yep.
Well, on that note, everyone, thank you very much for spending the past 50 minutes or so with us. We greatly appreciate it. Let us know. Once again, the question of the week is, what are your hopes for the 2022 haunt season? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. You can comment there. Let us know. Definitely follow us at Facebook. We will be posting an update sometime, hopefully very soon, about our next live recording. And those are great because we have guests and you can come in, you can participate in the chat, and you can be a part of the show as it unfurls. It's awesome. So on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week.